Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome back to Friendsim 2. We're actually going to keep going on with our... I don't know why there's 13 alerts. But yeah, basically last we left off, we basically went through 2 of the trials, and in the half episode, I basically just went through all of the text if you guys are interested about that. But let's actually go through and talk to people this time. You should investigate the ship thoroughly and talk to everyone who is involved. You're honestly kind of afraid to talk to Gallic at this point. He's just standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back. When he turns around, there's a look of intensity in his eyes that you don't really like.
Ah, my alien friend. I trust that your investigation is going well? This has become something of a matter of Imperial security, in case that wasn't already clear.
Alien friends, not to blither or insult you, but you're in fact an alien. You smile as winningly as you can manage under the circumstances. Sure, things are going just great, but it would be pretty helpful if Gallic just answer maybe a few more questions. His eyes you suspiciously.
I suppose that would be acceptable.
Why would anyone want to kill him?
In my line of work, you make a lot of enemies. Those who want to hurt the Empire, or just those who feel personally wronged by it.
Honestly, I am not surprised. Well, you can maybe understand how some people might feel personally wronged by the Empire. Gallic glares at you.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. My point is that the Empire's enemies tend to end up becoming my enemies. I might be a lowly piece in this game, but those even lower down stand to advance their own standing by removing me.
So, pretend I didn't hear that. Don't utter a whisper of any of the same kind of sentiment again. Empire's enemies. Believe me, the Empire has many enemies on all sides. Peace in this game. This game, in case, is referring to the all-too-real game of espionage. Whether they're fighting against the Empire, and then no understanding whether they're fighting against the Empire itself or attempting to absorb the Empress for control. That does sound pretty bad. Has he ever considered maybe leaving? Gallic laughs at you.
Oh, that's a good joke. I appreciate the attempt to lighten the situation. I know your alien customs are strange, but you should know as well as anyone that you don't just leave your responsibility to the Empire.
Does he actually have any leads? Gallic shakes his head slowly, frowning deeply and looking at the ground.
I wish that I did. Sadly, I could not say as much without lying to you.
Well, surely this is some kind of clue? Someone who maybe was angry at him, who would want to get him out of the way?
As I said, I truly do not know. I would suggest you investigate the crime scene once more, and speak to the legislators to see if they have any further insight.
Honestly, I'm somewhat hesitant to speak to them myself after nearly killing one of them. Well, 2 of them. Doesn't he feel bad about any of this?
Why would I feel bad?
Oh, yes, just the little things like almost killing his nemesis or an innocent legislator.
I suppose. In all honesty, I've learned to separate my personal and professional feelings long ago. Did it break my heart to have to put them on trial? Yes. Was it necessary? Absolutely.
I suppose that is very true. So, give me a second, I'm just double checking. So, feelings long ago, a certain sense of professionalism is needed here, something I cultivate during my academic phase, but which is only more pointed in my current line of work. Put them on trial. I'm not going to stand here and pretend I'm going to enjoy the more unpleasant parts of my duty, but I'm not also going to act like these measures are anything unusual. You see, ensuring the safety of the Empire and its citizens take precedence over whatever personal issues I might have with any of this. You don't really know where to even start arguing with him on this, not because any of this is completely compelling, but because it's so bizarre to your way of thinking that you don't even understand why he's so completely committed to it. Interesting, okay. Let's go to the observation deck, I guess. As you walk toward the observation deck, you can hear voices from around the corner. Slowly poking your head in, you notice that Sosa and Tagore are in there talking to each other. You wisely decide not to interrupt their conversation. Not so when you can listen in or anything, just to be polite, yeah. That seems like a completely plausible thing to believe.
That's why I'm so worried about her. She's always working. and she's always burning the wax light cylinder at both ends all the time. I wish she could take just a few minutes to herself to keep from burning completely out.
Well, your mate Sprit has a certain determination to her that she just won't let go of.
Tagora sighs and shrugs, looking over at Salsa.
Not the worst problem to have in the grand scheme of things.
What do you mean?
I mean, I've got a cosmesis who's gotten to the point where he genuinely thought that flushing me out an airlock might be a viable solution to his problems. I hope I don't have to tell you how much that hurts, do I?
No, you're right. I just wish that Zizi would be more open.
And I wish that Gallic would stop being such a stupid bastard. Sometimes we get what we want, sometimes we don't.
Sure, you're right.
Salsa's head droops, and you can't help but notice that something's wrong about the way she's speaking and carrying herself feels wrong.
I'm going to go lie down for a bit. This has been such a stressful day.
Fine. Suit yourself.
Salsa turns to walk out the observation deck, and you quickly jump back into the corridor right before she sees you.
Oh, it's you again.
That morning, Salsa is hugging you, and there's tears streaming down her face as she sobs quietly.
I'm sorry. I just can't thank you enough for what you did back there. I was so sure I was going to lose Zizi forever. And then, what would I do? I can't go through life without my mate Sprit. It's unthinkable at this point.
Oh, Salsa. She quickly lets you go and steps back, wiping her eyes frantically, seeing the expression in her face, and you feel an ache growing in your heart. She should never have experienced this kind of pain. Should never be forced to live through something so traumatic.
If you see Zizi, and you tell her I'm worried about her, I'll be in our room.
Salsa politely brushes by and takes off down the corridor on her way to the guest rest block. You lean around the corner and you see that Tagora is still standing by the window looking out at the stars.
I know you're there. You might as well come out.
You walk on into the observation deck in the most casual way you can manage. You're definitely just walking by and not sitting there for several minutes and listening in on his conversation with Salsa.
Seems like an awfully specific thing to say. It doesn't matter. There's something I need to ask you. When you said before you could get me away from this place, what did you mean exactly?
Let's see here. About the whole leading thing. Tagora perks up as soon as you mention it and looks instantly more alert.
I need to know what you mean by this. Are you talking about running off and joining some filthy bunch of rebels in a cave somewhere?
Oh no, there wouldn't be any caves involved in this process. You would see you got the powers of the first Guardian. Well, he did anyways. Point being, you sure you can get those powers back, and then you can actually warp Tagora and anyone else into another world he set up. Nice, peaceful alternative to you just around vaguely. Tagora doesn't look convinced.
Okay, so imagine for a second that what you just said doesn't sound like the ramblings of someone who's taken one too many hits to the head.
Let's see here. Elward, can't really head into town. I guess it's time to get down. Malik, this rebelling is everywhere. It is everyone, everywhere. I'm so worried about her with I don't want to get involved with something that'll hurt her. I can't lose her.
Imagine that I'm interested in what you're saying here. I'm not leaving without Gallic, and he isn't going to come with us unless you give him a really good reason.
Reason like?
You have to convince him that someone's out to kill him.
Which, if you do manage to convince Gallic, that will lead you on the route to salvation. Yeah, about that. You're not entirely sure that's actually true.
It doesn't matter. If he believes it, the truth is completely irrelevant. Besides, we'll be living it up in this world you claim you made.
Tagora sighs and shrugs.
Or you're lying, and we'll end up sitting around in a cave playing games with a jade blood and fancy casual wear, and a cerulean with a series of sexual hang-ups involving pirates.
Well, you think that's maybe a bit too specific scenario, honestly it feels a bit unrealistic. Tagora shrugs again.
Still better than the alternative.
Does he have any idea what really happened?
What makes you think it matters what really happened?
Tagora sighs and leans closer, smiling in a way that makes you feel a little bit more uneasy.
You remember what I told you about being a showmaster?
Kind of vaguely. Something about Traz or something like that. Get the feeling that it's kind of like a prosecutor, the person responsible for finding the accused guilty as charged.
No. Well, that's part of it. They're always found guilty. But it's more like being the creative director of the trial. You need to make sure it's a big production. Something that makes it clear that no one can question the system.
Oh, you're starting to understand. Trials are a form of theater, a way to make the Empire look good.
Yes. But we can use the same energy to convince Gallic it's time to leave. Just put on a good show. Whether it's real or not, that's irrelevant.
Why is he even still with Gallic? You explained that it doesn't really seem all that healthy to be with someone whose track record consisted of trying to have him killed just a little while earlier. You don't know how much about healthy relationship dynamics, but that seems unhealthy.
Ugh, don't try to lecture me on how to handle my own pitch relationship. You're not much of an auspicious.
Okay, ouch, that stings. Because you, for one, consider yourself quite the action experts.
Please. The only thing you need to know is that Gallic and I would both be a lot happier without the pressure of our respective positions in the Empire hanging over our heads.
I'm sure that'll be very true.
Unfortunately, the only way out of that prior to you showing up would be death. But you're giving us an alternative.
Tagore flashes you a shark-like smile and nods.
Good for you.
I guess to the airlock. You really don't want to go back in the airlock, but the body is sitting there, and you still have as much blood as there was before. You develop a pretty strong stomach over the years, but this is still a lot. But still, something draws you toward the scene of the crime. It is a sense of that lingering unease that you become all too familiar with. The sense that something isn't right here. The sense that you need to look closer.
What are you doing in here?
Tizirus basically appears directly behind you as if she were able to teleport in, or more accurately, you don't notice her walk in because you were too wrapped up in your own thoughts.
You know that something's not right here, don't you? Something doesn't add up.
You shrugged. I mean, yeah, of course not. Things on Ontaria, and by extension the space around Ontaria, never seems quite add up. But you're not sure what you really do here, just that Gallic asked you to find out who really did this. Tezrat doesn't answer right away.
I think you should take a very close look at everything in here. I think there's a pattern here, and I think you're smart enough to see what it is.
You start to interject that you're not really sure what she's talking about, and that you're very new to this kind of thing, but before you can even finish your sentence, Tezrat interrupts you.
I'll be in my room if you need anything. It's been a long day so far. If you see Stealth around, let her know that I need to talk to her.
Well, crap. Okay, that was pretty vague, though mysterious and basically completely unhelpful, but you suppose it wouldn't be hurt just to take one more look around the gross blood-filled airlock for old time's sake. And there's also 2 more notifications. Hooray! If you make someone a promise, you better be prepared to keep it. Really wish ignorant outsiders would stop pretending to know how quadrants work. So let's see here. Something about this control panel gives you a very important vibe, just like how someone, it's like how someone the key to any number of mysteries. Sadly, you also have absolutely no clue to work any of it. Maybe you should come back later. Maybe someone in some kind of user manual or handy illustrated guidebook on how to use this. It's very conspicuous bloody handprint right there on the control panel. Operates the airlock. Judging by the blood on the maintenance worker's glove, this must have been left by them. So you guess that they didn't die right away then. That's actually pretty disturbing. Weird, there's a blood spot on the airlock door. That doesn't seem to make any sense for a murderer inside of an airlock. The blood is running along the floor, too spread out to just be the result of the spray from the wound. Don't know what any of this means just yet, but it seems like it's really important. Because it seems like they were killed there and then they went over here. Body is still lying there, practically untouched from the last time you checked in on it. Wounds from the throat is looking more and more suspicious. Something about it feels so random. It doesn't seem like it was done deliberately at all. More like there was something chaotic and unpredictable. You sure that there's clues around here that'll make the picture a little clearer? And last is a toolbox. Off to one side, there's a toolbox lying open. While the box itself is tethered to the nearby wall, it appears that something might be missing from the box itself. If only you could find some kind of record that let you know what was missing. So we need to go to the cargo bay first, because this is new. So we can look at this. Looks like the log of the maintenance staff that had been down here in this area in the last night cycle or so. Doesn't seem like many people come down here. And then, after a little bit of searching, find the manifest for the components of the toolbox that's in the airlock. You're sure if you'll be able to compare the manifest to the contents of the box, you'll be able to figure out what's missing. Whether or not that actually means anything. Look, you're working one step at a time. So, okay. Handpins, that looks like the airlock that matches the bloods under the suit seems to suggest the maintenance work ahead. At least try to put the hands on the control. Blood spots on the floor. Series of blood spots leading away from the body toward the door. You're not an expert, but it looks like the blood is carried a lot farther in that specific direction than you would have from just spraying out from the wound door. A bunch of small blood spots on the door, as if the blood and the motion that hit the door is way too far back to be the result from the spray from the wound, though. Open toolbox. Contains wrenches, variable bit driver, measuring device, and permanent markers. And the manifest is wrenches, blade knife, variable driver, measuring device, and set permanent markers. So the thing that is missing is the knife. And then Galax statements, and the maintenance log. Here. So, Specialist Diagnostics logged into maintenance work on order A3202. 40 minutes later, Diagnostics logged off maintenance work. A3202 suspended break. And then 30 minutes after that, Specialist Diagnostics logged into the maintenance work on order 3202. Interesting. Okay, so then let's go to the guest dress block. You open the door to the guest room that Salsa and Tezrek are staying in, and the first thing you see the two of them huddled together talking in low voices. You really don't want to interrupt this fierce intimate, but you also don't want to risk the sound of the door breaking the moment, so you kind of just stand there or stand awkwardly and listen.
I don't see why you're acting like this. I almost lost you, Zizi. I can't do that. I can't do this.
It's fine, Stealth. Nothing actually happened. I'm fine, and Gallic knows I didn't kill anyone. It's fine.
It's fine now. But what about next time? I keep telling you to stop poking your head up.
So, what? Just smile and nod along? Just hide myself away and what?
Stay with me.
I'm not going to leave you, Stealth. That's crazy.
I don't mean like that. I mean that one day you're going to do something stupid for good reasons, and it's going to get you killed. And I can't live with myself if I let that happen.
See Tezros reach out and put a hand on the small of Seltra's back. Slowly, Tezros leads in and stretches her neck and kisses her mates right on the corner of the jaw, right at the base of her neck.
I'm not going to get killed, okay?
Aww.
You don't know that. Everyone says that, but no one knows it for sure.
You shift and lean back, which of course has the side effect of loudly banging into the door, which caused both Stelsa and Tezra to jump.
You
point to yourself. Me? Tezra glares.
I need to talk to you. Alone.
Out of the corridor and on the side of the now closed door to the rest blocks, Tezra hauls you a few feet down and starts to speak in a low, urgent whisper.
I need you to listen to me and not interrupt. Do you understand?
You're about to say something when you catch Tezra's look. Instead, you nod silently.
Good. Now look at me. I know you're trying to help, but you need to understand something here. I don't want to leave Alternia.
You stare at her.
I care about these people, and they deserve better than to suffer under the heel of the fucking Empress. How can I do anything about that from another world?
You suppose you hadn't really thought about the implications of what you're proposing. You're very wise to decide to keep this pondering to yourself for now.
Truth is, there's a reason I was here. A rebel contact who said that they saw some signs that Gallic's loyalty to the Empire might be wavering. So I was coming here to see what I could find, and then someone dies. And I'm pretty sure it was my contact.
Okay, yeah, that does seem to be a bad thing. But does she think that they got killed because they were discovered?
I have no fucking clue. But I do know that there's something else going on here, and you might actually be able to figure out what. Take this.
She reaches into her pocket and pulls out her palm mask, and after a few quick taps on the screen, your own palm palm husk vibrate softly.
It's the service manual for the airlock controls. Something weird is going on with all that. Check the controls and see if Gallic is willing to give you the access logs. Plus, it probably wouldn't hurt to search Gallic's respite block and office again and see if there's something else you missed before. And be careful.
You think that Tezros is being a little bit hypocritical, given that you just overheard between her and Salsa, but the key thing is that you think this and you don't say it out loud like an idiot.
Okay, now we're gonna go inside and you're gonna be nice to Stealth and reassure her that everything's fine. Okay?
The way she emphasizes the last word, it's pretty clear that this is isn't an optional kind of thing. Salsa smiles when she's walked in, and you find yourself wishing that you could just talk to your old friend in a situation that didn't involve a literal murder. You feel weird thinking it, but you actually kind of miss the way Alternier was. It sucked a lot, but there was a certain kind of regularity to how it sucked. That's completely gone now. Get this completely.
Hello again. I wish that we could have reunited under better circumstances.
I do too, Salsa. Yeah, you too, Salsa, you too. Love the new outfit.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a nightmare to try and get anything that's not in regulation teal or neutral grey.
But doesn't Ontario have rules against wearing the blood color of other casts? I feel like that's a thing you read somewhere, but you're not sure. From the other side of the other side, you hear Tezros laugh.
You think there's pink bloods? Like, brilliant hot pink?
Alright, in retrospect, it might have been a slightly silly thing to ask. Jeez. So, how are things going with Tezros? Tezros shoots you a quick look, but also seems to be ignoring it.
Oh, things have been going quite well. We were both a little worried that Ascension might mean the end of our relationship, but both of us were lucky enough to be assigned to the Justitia.
Justitia. Okay. The what now?
The Legiscorpus flagship.
Life isn't so bad up there. We're very busy and don't have much time for reflecting on the unpleasantries of the past.
Which strikes you as a singularly odd way to put it. Well, anything. You're not exactly sure what Celsi even means by it. So, any ideas what might have happened?
Oh my goodness, no! That kind of thing is more Zizi's department and not mine. I assume that's what she was talking to you about just now?
Yeah, let's go with that. You were talking about murder forensics or whatever, but it would also be nice to have some fresh perspective. Celsi cocks her head to the side and smiles.
Well, honestly, it seems like it's all just some freak accident.
You stop and stare at her. Is she serious right now? Surely she can't be this oblivious to how urgent things are.
It seems to me that there's no actual evidence of a killer or killers, right? So maybe the truth is the simplest explanation, that there was never a killer to begin with.
Yeah, so I just got Tessa's statement, maintenance log. So, no, it's not the... it was Tools Manifest, Tulsa Statements, Tulsa Statements. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out the control stuff. So, I'm gonna have to go to the... I'm gonna go back to the office. Searching the bookshelves, you stumble with papers inside of a teal file folder. At first glance, they look like the same Kismis's contract they saw before. Upon closer examination, you notice that this document is modified heavily. Well, the Tyrian kitten's still hanging in there, for better or worse. You don't think there's anything else of substance to be gained from this poster, but maybe you can take a lesson from this cat. No matter how bad things get, it can always get worse. You can always drop to your horrible death on the field of spikes that are surely out in the frame of this poster. Well, that got dark. Crap, all this stress must be getting to you. The plant is really nice to touch. You think Antonia Flora is actually quite pretty when it's not trying to adjust your organs. Sadly, this plant can't help you. So, and that last is... You sit down in front of the computer and crack your knuckles. Time to do what a really bad hacking crap. You're just the best at hacking. You can hack things. You know how to use a computer. Well, heck, you're not really sure how to work this, and Gallic never gave you even the password. So, let's go to the master rest block. The sure is even more tempting now, but you're almost out of here. Surely once you figure out what to do with Gallic and solve this mystery, you'll be able to rest. That seems reasonable, right? And it looks like all that was in here is the same papers that you already found. This was helpful before, but it feels like you need some new information for this. Can't help but wonder how much of the decor was chosen out of genuine fondness for the Empire, and how much was just showed to keep Gallic's appearance as a high blood. Guess it doesn't really matter all that much, but already the whole I love the Empress thing is kind of getting old already. So let's go to the no, not the office, the bridge, I think it was. Yeah. You need access logs for the cargo airlock. You explained that you got a real killer lead. Okay, bad phrasing there, but the point is, you got a hunch to chase down, and you need Gallic's help to do it.
I suppose. What is it that you need from me, exactly?
You need the logs that show who accessed the cargo airlocks in the last couple hours. Gallic's expression softens as you know.
Of course. I can send that information to your palm husk right away.
Okay, so statement, airlock access log. So inner doors closed, pressure equalize, outer doors open, outer doors closed, equalize, inner doors open, outer doors open. Note, see console log, outer doors closed, maintenance log. So maintenance log. So someone came out from the outside. Or doors open, out of there. Console log, so see, amendment looks very similar, but added quite a few handwritten notes. I think it was too harsh in the original, but actually has some flesh-clean feelings to Gora. You're not sure if it used fat. That's everything, but you're not sure what it means. If you remember correctly, you're being mixed up at all wasn't something that the team looked very kindly on. Access log. Interesting. Okay. Nice. So some people might want to suggest that things are bad here, but I know better. Simple woman, as long as I got my rates right. Nice routine. I'm happy. Next. Nothing's here. Station deck. Nothing here. Cargo bay. Airlock. So yeah, you tried to figure out the self-out manual. It would have certainly ended in disaster. Maybe your ultimate death. But armed with the power of the written word, nothing can stop you. You quickly run through the diagnostic center until you find the last part of the internal records for the controls. From there, it's just a drag and drop to move the information to your palm husk and review at your leisure. So, gather enough evidence to begin your case with Gallic. Start trial to begin evidence. So, lock error code. System reports safety lock failure at 14:33, returning universal time. Catastrophic lock pressure reported. Self-corrected. Manually reset the outer doors. Interesting. Start the trial, though. You're on your way to the bridge when you find Gallic when you hear the familiar sounds of Tagora clearing his throat behind you. You turn to see him glaring at you.
Look, if you want to convince Gallic that leaving with you would be a good idea, now's the time to do it.
Yes, definitely would be the now to do it.
Just make sure he understands that someone's been gunning for him.
And that's the thing, you say. You're pretty sure that no one's gunning for him. In fact, pretty sure that the murder wasn't actually murder.
It doesn't matter, as long as he believes it. Just put on a good show.
Sure, buddy, whatever you say. You tell Tagori that you're not sure you can do this or not, but it's the only thing you've been thinking about.
Well, keep thinking about it. Because I have a feeling I know where you're going right now.
Before you can round the corner, you feel a hand on your shoulder. Turning around, you see Tezra standing there frowning at you.
Hey, we need to talk real quick. If you're going where I think you are. You know that no one was murdered here, right?
Well, you're pretty sure that the dead body down the airlock. Tezra shakes her head.
You know damn well that they weren't murdered. This could be an opportunity. Don't act like that. You're smarter than you let on. It's a chance to shake Gallic's faith in the system. If you can show him the truth of what happened, and how he was willing to kill to support such a flimsy illusion, maybe not a lot, but it's more than nothing. It'll help.
See, you're not really sure about this. It seems like a big risk. You wouldn't necessarily describe yourself as unwilling to take risks, but you feel like you've been really pushing your luck recently.
Ugh, stop it. Can you please consider something bigger than yourself for once?
Okay, I'll think about it. That's all we can promise right now. Galek is still up on the bridge when you get there, and you're not sure if you're ready for this. You didn't actually have a choice last couple times, but now you're actually going to put your head right in the lion's mouth all on your own. That's the thing, right? Putting your head in the lion's mouth? God, why would anyone do that?
Is there something I can help you with? I trust your investigation into the murder is proceeding apace.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder if it would be worth pointing out to Galek that you're not actually any kind of investigator. It's probably just complicate things even more. Instead, you nod and clear your throat. Yeah, you figured this out. And for this, basically to pick... this is your first choice. You get a chance to pick salvation, lie and say that there was a murder, or revolution and say that there wasn't a murder path. And this will determine, depending on your choice, this will determine the trial you have to complete. I obviously chose salvation in my other run, and I'm going to be choosing for revolution, so I'm going to have to pick there wasn't a murder. No one is trying to kill anyone.
What? What in the world are you talking about?
Well, you see, the thing that is...
No, never mind. Get whoever you need and explain yourself immediately.
Yeah, you can explain your reasoning in extensive detail. You definitely didn't do half of this basically on the fly. This is gonna go great. Yeah, and basically, whoever you...
I know this isn't easy, but it's the right thing to do.
And basically, depending on which option you chose, will be the person who will be helping you in your trial as well. You're really not sure about that. This feels like a very high-risk, low-reward kind of thing, and you're not really feeling great about that.
Sometimes the best thing to do isn't the easiest thing to do. So let's do the best thing.
You look at Galek dead in the eyes. Look, you say evenly there was never a murder on the ship because there was never a murder.
That's a very bold thing to say. Do you have any proof of this? Honestly, I don't even know why you're wasting my time like this. There was clearly evidence that a murder was committed. You may dismiss it as paranoia, but you are objectively incorrect.
This isn't going to be easy. He's convinced that someone tried to kill him. You aren't going to be able to break that down all at once.
You shoot Tizera a pleading look. She wouldn't happen to know how you're going to break that down? She shrugs.
A little bit at a time. Start by introducing doubt, and pry things open from there.
I mean, that's definitely a good idea. Honestly, I don't always see my time like this. Clear evidence of murders committed, and make a specific incorrect. So yeah, I think we have to press on this. Clearly evidence.
Objection!
But wait, you know that things are a lot more complicated than that. Point out this is hardly a definitively established fact that anyone is even murdered. It kind of laughs at you.
This is utterly ridiculous. What's gotten into you? Everyone here is in agreement that someone committed a murder.
But the airlock code.
Take that!
Wait, you got something very important to show. Something really, really good.
I knew this was a waste of my time. I have important matters to attend to.
Someone committed a murder. The thing is, if I present this... Yeah, because I don't want to present anything in contact of the rebels, because that'll be bad. Wait. Airlock air code was at 1433. No, so that doesn't...
Objection!
But you know, things are a lot more complicated. You point out that maybe she may be more suspicious. Then things get to him that way, maybe it wouldn't.
A man in my position has to be just a little bit paranoid to survive.
I don't know why you're wasting my time. Objection! But wait, you know things are a lot more complicated than that. Isn't it important to seek the truth here? Galax shakes his head.
You're wasting the time that could be used in finding out who the killer is.
Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe if I press Elsa's statements? Take that! Seems odd, but you got something very important to show him, something really, really good. So this is right, the idea of this being some complex assassination plot is absurd. Someone want him dead. It seems like more likely they'll just shoot him or blow up his spaceship.
I don't know if I trust the word of someone with little to no investigative training.
He says it, but there's doubt in his voice.
Okay, off to a good start. You broke his momentum, but you need to keep pushing.
You're not sure exactly how to do that, and you don't get a chance to really figure it out either because Gallic interrupts your train of thoughts.
You, Legis Lacerator, you were there by the airlock.
Yeah?
You are hereby required to testify what you know about the case immediately.
Wasn't he just accusing
Shut up. I'll do it, okay? Yeah, I investigated the crime scene. A few things that just didn't really add up. Not that anyone's asking me for my opinion.
Really wish you could talk to Tasers, but there's no way to get a message to her with the Galax standing right there, especially given the whole supporting the rebellion thing that you've kind of got going on here. But you think you can tease this out of... You look at Taser and nod slightly. Okay, so there's something in there, some things he's saying that's designated to lead you down the path you need to go. So... Objection! But wait, you know that things are a lot more complicated. Why did you decide to go investigating the scene in the first place? Maybe she was hoping to find something unusual?
Least I could do after I was accused of the fucking murder.
So what didn't add up? What kind of things did she notice that didn't add up exactly? You turn your fingers and assume your most lawyery stance.
Well, why don't you tell me? You were there too. What was something that really stood out to you?
The missing knife. Desert shakes your head.
No, that's not it.
The blood? Desert smiles softly, just enough for you to notice.
Anyone who knows anything can see that blood doesn't make sense for a murder.
Sure. I want your opinion. Objection! Desert glazes your eyes now.
Really? I mean, why trust the fucking investigator, right?
Okay, so the blood doesn't add up. So what? I mean, yeah, because the blood doesn't add up to that. Let's see. I mean, I guess blood. Why would the person move? I guess because obviously the blood is weird. So it's either the bloody handprint, the blood on the airlock. So it looks like the airlock is from the hit itself. The handprint is sometime after. So maybe the blood spatter of him moving, probably. Take that! Oh yeah, well you got this to consider. Tezra has a little smile, just enough to let you know that she's in this too, but not enough to give the whole game away.
You noticed it too, didn't you? And where would all that blood lead?
Well, to the bloody handprints.
You really think so? Huh?
I guess the blood on the airlock door.
Exactly. But why was all the blood there? What happened to create such a strange pattern in the first place?
Not the manifest, not social statement. I mean, I'm guessing it's this. I'm not 100% sure though. Let's see here. My instinct is telling me airlock error code. Can't believe you didn't see the ridiculous contrived circumstances leading to the maintenance workers before. They're so simple. That doesn't really feel like the right word here. But the point is that you understand what happened now. The key to everything is in the airlock.
Objection!
This is absurd on the very face. What does this single fact mean in isolation? I insist that you stop leading the witness immediately.
Everything's the key to the airlock when it's decompressed. So, and then when it's a single fact, showing the electric in the airlock decompressed. Actually, it seems like she's kind of leading you, but
It doesn't matter. The point is that you have nothing that connects what you just showed us with the murder that you're now claiming was some kind of freak accident.
Sure. But they know why that error log was important. Because it wasn't just the airlock decompressing, was it?
because it's the missing toolbox, right? It's the open. I think it's the open toolbox. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the toolbox rather than tool manifest.
Now you're seeing the picture. Airlock opens, knife pops out, cuts our victim's neck, sprays blood all over. So, what happened last? What was that last thing they did that made this all so confusing?
They blood on the airlock door. Wait, no. Bloody handprints. Garlic looks down at his feet, frowning heavily. You can just practically see the wheels turning as he goes over what just heard.
Am I done now?
Yes. Yes, of course. I just can't understand how I could be so disconnected from reality. But you're telling me, showing me, that there's no way that this could have been a murder. What am I even supposed to do about this?
Shit. He's so close to getting it, but he's so fucking stubborn.
Yeah, he's stubborn. That's one adjective to use to describe him. Also, very willing to execute people over nothing, but that's kind of a mouthful.
Keep your shit together. There's something in here we can push him on. That last bit over the edge.
Can't understand how be so disconnected. Press?
Objection!
But that really it. There must be some way to think someone is out to kill him. After all, the last time we talked to him, Galax seemed to be so reasonable. What reason would he have to think that anyone would be targeting him specifically? Surely there was something he was doing that maybe he thought someone disapproved to the point of wanting him dead.
What reason did I have to think that someone would kill me on my own ship?
So it would probably be his thing of having flushed feelings rather than ashen feelings.
Objection!
Okay. It's good to be flexible, to be willing to change your opinions when new information comes up. You always thought that Gallic was all about that kind of intellectual curiosity and honesty.
I wouldn't have even believed it was possible.
What am I supposed to do about this?
Objection!
Okay. Something to choose right in front of him when he gets started.
I feel like a complete fool.
I mean, I feel like, why would he have to do this? And I feel like evidence would be the amended agreements. Probably. Fortunately, got one more thing to show.
Of course. The answer was there all along. Why would I think that anyone would want to kill me? Because the Empire doesn't have any tolerance for deviation. And look at me. Even back when we first met, I was hardly the perfect model of Alternian society.
Well, I mean, he did kind of act like he had a gigantic stick up his butt all the time. So.
And yes, I'll admit that I'd been experiencing a certain degree of red feelings for Tagora.
Which, whether or not these feelings might have extended to the degree which would be considered validation, was perhaps left up to interpretation, but I think the point stands that they are outside the typical accepting parameters of someone with my position in the Empire. Honestly, Gallic looks like he's about to cry. Gallic frowns heavily and looks around the bridge, as if he's finally seeing it for the first time. He bends over and presses his fingers to the bridge of his nose, groaning audibly.
I believe that I owe you an apology, my friend. You went far above and beyond any duty you had to anyone, and in doing so you revealed the truth behind this whole messy business. If there's anything that I can do to repay you, please let me know.
Well, there's one thing. You're not exactly sure how, but you seem to have found yourself in a bit of a situation where you're on the Empire's cold lists or something. No big deal, but it's whatever. But it'd be nice not to be on those anymore.
I suppose I could do something about that, yes.
He pulls out his palm husks and makes a few quick notes. After another few seconds, your own palm husks vibrates quietly.
I believe you've given me a lot to think over. I need to go lie down in my quarters for a while to compose myself.
Thinking over, specifically with regard to my position within the overall Eternian hierarchy, and that one implies for both myself specifically and society at large. It's not, and my quarters. That's not an euphemism for anything. I'm exhausted. And I got 3 notifications. So, Malak, they tell you that things are normal, that everything is fine, that liars. Tagora thinks all alien invasion 1 now is going to be all weird and mopey while he processes his guilds. Tizres guess alien invasion of 1 is okay, but I got my eye on you. Recent intelligence suggests that alien invasion of 1 is no longer a threat to the Empire. Please update your kill lists accordingly.
Once again, thank you.
Oh, and got another notification. But thanks, alien invasion 1. I think you did the right thing here.
Well, it's been fun, but I'm going to go make sure my Kismesis is okay.
Yes, you go do that, Gorgor. You begin to hand Tagore back to his palm husk when he stops you with a shake of his
Keep it. I've got tons of them. Anyway,
Not
Off I
so
go.
fast, Tagora.
Tagore freezes in place and turns to look to Silsa.
You've been dodging out of doing any of your own work for a peregrine now. I'm done with it. You're coming back with us to the Eustacia, and there's nothing you can say to get out of it.
Tagore sighs and his shoulders slump.
Fine. Let me go pack some things, and we can leave.
Zizi, I'll go pack our bags. And you... I never did catch your name, actually.
It's okay, your name is an unknowable construct in the specific instance narrative framework. Silsa stares at you and shakes your head. Why did you just say that?
Okay, well, you're welcome to come with us until you can figure things out. The Eustacia is the Teal home ship. Zizi and I have been living there since we passed our ordeals.
She pecks Tezros on the cheek with a quick kiss and leaves, presumably to go pack. So neat. If you're going to the Teal ship, maybe you run into Tagori? Tezros' face falls.
No, I don't really want to talk about him right now, okay?
She leans in closer and nods at you.
By the way, thank you. Thanks for not giving away what I've been up to.
Of course not. You have no idea why would they even do something so unthinkably stupid. But also, does she need to tell Silsa what she's been involved with? You don't think that her mate sprite would turn her in either.
Probably not, but she also wouldn't understand. And she'd worry about me constantly, and I don't know if I'm ready for how any of that would play out.
Okay, well, maybe you can talk about it later?
Sure, let's go with that.
Great. Well, in any case, you're excited to head over to the Institutia and possibly run into more of your friends, or maybe make new friends. Actually, not sure that the last bit there really should be a priority anymore. Yeah, better just focus on helping out the friends you already may have. Nod to Tezra and let her know that you're happy to come back with her until you can at least figure out what's up with your powers.
Good. Just be careful. Things are a lot different than they were.
Why am I not surprised? Revolution. So, reluctantly agreed that maybe Alternia isn't always the best. Save my character so far. Turn to the main menu. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path, wherever it might lead you into the future. Bye-bye, everybody.